So I have just a little bit of cleanup left from Hurricane Helene, and then my property will be all set again. Hey everybody, this is Bill with Live Simple, Live Free, and I've shown you this before, the damage that we had from Hurricane Helene. And you remember right in here I had a bunch of trees that were down, and while we were still in Virginia, I found somebody to take care of it for me. I paid him $200 and he cut up all the trees and moved it, used his bobcat to push it out to the road, because the county or the city, I'm not sure which, was going around with these big huge trucks and picking everything up. As you can see now, he's done that. This is all clear, everything is clean. But when he did that, when he cut it up, there was one particular branch in the back here, and I'll take you back and show you, that was still hung up in the tree, and he didn't cut it up. I don't know, maybe he didn't see it. So I'm gonna have to do that now. I brought my chainsaw down to Florida with me, and I got here and it wouldn't start. So I had to take it in and have the carburetor cleaned out and rebuilt, so now it'll work fine. I wanted to get it done and put that extra wood branches on that pile before the city picked it up, but I didn't get it done in time. There are a couple of other piles down that way, about a half a block, that they haven't picked up yet. So my plan is that I'm going to cut up that branch and then take it all down to that pile. And then the tree that blew over, the stump was right in here, and when it blew over it pulled the stump up out of the ground. So he cut it all up and he pushed it over to the road. Now that stump right there, that was a tree that it wasn't blown over, but all the branches were stripped off of it, and it looked like a telephone pole with one little branch at the top. So he cut it down and he cut it up, but he did not pull out that stump, primarily because he only had a bobcat, and that's not the right machine for that. So I'm going to have to get somebody to grind that stump for me, but that's a future project. So all of this in here, I was going to try to get somebody to come in with a machine and do final grading and make it a little smoother again so it can be mowed. But I realized this is all soft stuff, it's sand. I can probably just do this with a rake and shovel, so we'll see what happens there. So here's the branch in the back of my property that broke off. You can see where it snapped right there, and now it's hung up in the tree right there. And it's a fairly substantial log right up in here, but yeah, so I'm just going to have to cut that up and get rid of it. Now for me to take down this branch can be really dangerous, because the upper part up there is probably about this big around, so it's big and heavy. And as I cut out those lower branches, the whole thing could come down on me at any time. Or I could cut out the lower branches and it's still hung up there and it won't come down. Then I'll have to try to get a chain and pull it out with my truck or something. Anyway, let's see what happens, and I will be very careful to watch what's happening each time I cut a branch. success. I didn't kill myself. Okay, so these are piles that they haven't picked up yet. So now when they do, mine will go with it. So the only thing left for me to do now is the final grading here. As I said earlier in the video, right over there was where there was a tree there that came down, and when it did, it pulled the stump up with it. And the backhoe, or the bobcat, when he pushed it all over, he filled that hole back in. But all of this is still pretty rough. It can't be mowed. So I was going to hire somebody to come out here with a machine and grade it all. Then I realized it's just not that much. I can actually do it by hand. That's when I discovered another problem. You know, having a home in 2 different states presents some challenges with everyday tools. You know, I have probably a dozen rakes and shovels and all that kind of stuff in Virginia, and if we were going to just come to a weekend cabin in the mountains an hour away, it'd be easy to carry that stuff back and forth. But when we spend 6 months there and 6 months here, that makes it not practical, which means I have to duplicate tools, which is kind of unfortunate. But I didn't have any rakes or shovels, so I went and bought a couple just for this job. But you know, I don't even know if I'll need these again down here. But the other way to think of it is, I spent about 30 bucks on this. It would cost me a lot more than that to get somebody out here with a machine to do this. So now I have a couple of rakes and a shovel. Being Florida, this is all sand and it's very easy to move around. Alright, the cleanup's all done and it's looking good. Back there is where that big branch was down. Got that all cleaned up. And then over here, right there, you can see kind of a low spot. That's where the tree was, and the root ball was there. When it came out, it brought a lot of dirt out with it. so I didn't have quite enough dirt to fill it in. But I raked all that out, raked this out, and all in through here there were big holes where the branches skewered the dirt when it fell. So the only thing left is that stump. I don't know if I'll either get a stump grinder in here or just leave it. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. But this is now all mowable again, and I'm happy with the way it looks. So thanks for watching. Live simple, live free. You be blessed. We'll see you next time.